All right, thank you, Commission. I'm the ANS Coordinator, Aquatic Nuisance Species Coordinator for the department. I'm going to talk a little bit about this new marketing campaign we've started, new for 2013. I've done a few presentations for the Commission on a few different aspects of ANS management. I've talked about control, and of course we always deal with regulations and stuff, but we've never really talked about the prevention aspect of ANS management here at the Commission yet. And that really is prevention. It's kind of the old adage of Ben Franklin, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And that really is what we go with here. We really, as an agency, can't control where these ANS infestations are going to happen. We can try to mitigate it, but there really is not a lot of control to it. But we do control how we use all these different media. We have signs, radio, Facebook, all these different things. And the purpose of this is to show you that there's a lot of different avenues we can use, but it's difficult to distinguish which ones are effective, both in terms of money and in terms of actually getting the message out there. So what we did in 2011, we instituted the ANS Boater Survey, and this is done at 24 lakes each year, so 6 in each of the regions. My interns go out, they talk to every single boater coming off the lake. They're there 4 days a week, going to these different lakes. It allows us to do 2 different things, really. First, we can create a risk assessment so we know where boaters are coming from, where they're going, how long it's taking them to go between trips. And also importantly, we also get an assessment of our outreach efforts. Are we effective? What methods are the most effective for us? So here's a few tables here just to show you some of the results we have from our 2 years of data. This is the response to the first question we always ask: are you currently aware of ANS threats such as zebra mussels and Asian carp? So again, only 2 years of data, so it's tough to tell. 2011, roughly 80% of our respondents said they were aware of ANS, and in 2012, we improved a little bit to about around 90%. So there is some improvement there. The next table here is anglers and boaters getting their information from a variety of sources. So we use all those different media outlets. Which ones are actually working? And I know it's tough to see from this far away, but to the left we have our most popular ones, and that's fishing handbook, word of mouth, internet, and signs. Those are by far our most popular and most effective means of outreach. And those are, in all likelihood, in all reality, the ones that cost us the least. We put out the handbook, that information's there, done for the year. Same thing with our signs. We put up our signs, it's there for 3 years, we don't have to have any more cost for it. So those are really effective. But when you start to look, laser is on this, we start to look on the right side of the graph here, we have things like billboards, radio, television. The things that really aren't as effective, those are probably the ones that cost the most. And those are the ones we really haven't utilized yet in our ANS campaigns. So where do we go from here? These pictures right here are all signs we use in our ANS outreach. And you can see there's not a whole lot of continuity between all these different signs. There's a lot of different messages going on. And we also need to determine if these behaviors are changing. Are we having an effect? So that goes down to our 2 questions. Is the message unified and accurate? And how do we reach more people? So in response to that, we issued an RFP, a request for proposals, in January, $50,000 for fiscal year 13, with approximately $25,000 possible for 14 for different aspects of outreach. Multiple aspects are included in this RFP. I'm only going to talk about the ANS aspects, but there's also a component for outdoor university at the outdoor campus, and then potentially some work with Hunt Safe. So there's some different things included in this RFP. We received 5 proposals. We reviewed those, and we chose Lawrence and Schiller out of Sioux Falls to do this campaign for us. And this is what they came up with, and we're pretty excited about what they came up with. So this is going to launch on May 1st, and it's going to run May, June, and July, so our busiest 3 fishing months. The logo is the center point for this campaign, so this is the SDLeastWanted.com campaign. And essentially, when somebody goes to SDLeastWanted.com, they're going to be redirected to our department ANS page, but it serves as a portal and gives us a way to count how many people are actually visiting through that portal. This logo is going to be on virtually any ANS outreach material we have, and it's simple and effective. So as soon as somebody goes to SDLeastWanted.com once, and then they see this logo, they're going to know exactly what to expect. Oh, this is an ANS message, something we need to pay attention to. The next few slides here are just some of the ideas that Lawrence and Schiller came up with. None of these are finalized. These are just to show you some of the things that they're going to be able to do for us, things that our staff simply don't have the experience and expertise in doing this. It's just such a big project that it was more helpful for us to get some outside help. So billboards. The idea here is that they're going to have a series of 4 billboards. It's going to be one billboard that's changed every 2 weeks. So you can see progressively the billboard's getting more and more crowded with, say, zebra mussels or Asian carp. And it's really a campaign they've had a lot of success with in other campaigns. So it's something that we're looking at in terms of not only is it getting the message out, it's also showing how quickly things can escalate because it's going to go through time as well. Radio, and this is going to be tough to see. Essentially what they're going to do is create a character for each zebra mussel, or for each ANS. So for zebra mussel, it's going to be Clint Eastwood, say. And then they're going to put out a little blurb about I'm a zebra mussel, all the bad things that these things do. And at the end, kind of switch to an upbeat message saying, there's something we can do. Please visit sdleastwanted.com. So these will be PSAs that'll go through all of our big population centers in the state. Signs. This is something we're also going to have to work with the Parks Division on here. We're going to change up some of our ANS outreach signs. Right now, like I said, I showed in that previous slide, we have a bunch of different signs going on. We're going to try to get one unified message with that sdleastwanted.com logo on there, and then potentially work on some different placement options. You can see in the top right here, they've showed that we could put those on the boat docks and spread that out. Every single person that gets on the boat is probably going on the dock, so every single person is going to see that. And then maybe some different locations where we put the signs, maybe put them where people see them when they're pulling their boat out of the lake. Things we haven't tried before. Then they go into their disruptive media campaign. So these are things where we would have advertising or our message where you normally wouldn't see it. So above gas station pumps. Then the other idea that a lot of people that involved in this really liked is this icebox wrap campaign. You can essentially put a vinyl wrap around ice boxes at bait shops. So when somebody goes to get their ice for the day on the lake, they'll see this message right here. And again, all of it's plastered with our sdleastwanted.com logo. Digital media, more of the same. We're going to redo some of our ANS pages, clean those up, make them more user-friendly. Put the sdleastwanted.com logo on there. And then also our iPhone and Android apps will be putting sdleastwanted.com stuff on there as well. Again, all with the idea that everybody looking for ANS information in South Dakota has to go through this portal, so it allows us to track how many people are doing things, or are looking for things. And then youth outreach, a couple of ideas they had. On the left is Ranger Ted, says stop the spread. That was actually shot down. The outdoor campus already uses a ranger for some of their outreach. So Lawrence and Schiller is going to come up with a few different characters based on each of the different ANS, a zebra mussel character, an Asian carp character, and then we'll do some things with those with outreach for kids. And something simple like printing up stickers that say Aquatic Deputy to hand out to kids when we're at boat ramps doing these surveys. Another form of good outreach for us. Finally, they're talking about doing some guerrilla marketing, and this will take some cooperation with some boat dealers across the state. We would give the boat dealer a stack of these Asian carp cutouts, and then they'd put them in the live wells of all their boats they're going to sell. So that when somebody buys a new boat, they open up the live well for the first time, they'll see this cutout and say, oh, I need to be aware of ANS species, something to take into consideration when I take my boat out for the first time. And also as a part of this, new for this year, we were lucky enough to get a grant from the Fish and Wildlife Service, and we were able to purchase a mobile decontamination unit. This thing's going to be wrapped. It's going to have pictures, the sdleastwanted.com logo on it. Then also some logos of some sportsmen's groups that cooperate with us, South Dakota Walleyes Unlimited, Bass, and the Isaac Walton League. This thing is essentially what it's going to allow us to do is to go anywhere in the state. It could be 150 miles in the middle of nowhere, and we could do a boat wash station. It's completely portable. It reclaims and recycles all water, so we don't have to worry about EPA regulations. And the plan for this is going to be to use it once every weekend, once per month per region. So it's going to be all over the state, all summer. We'll go to high priority boat ramps, sit there, show people how to clean their boats, what to look for, hand out some of our materials, and mainly it's going to be used as an outreach tool. But in the event, let's say we would get zebra mussels at a lake and we needed something for enforcement, we could take this to a lake and require that all people have their boat washed when they're leaving the lake to prevent the spread. And with that, I would take any comments, questions, suggestions anybody has. By no means, I'm not a marketing expert, so if anybody has any ideas, we're wide open on where we can put stuff like this.
Gary.
Can you give us some sense of how big a problem this is that you're dealing with? Or
The ANS problem?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very real threat we have. I'm sure a lot of you saw all of the information that came out last year, all the news stories on Kelloland with the Asian carp. Asian carp's a big problem we have in eastern South Dakota. Zebra mussels are always a big problem we have. Minnesota, more and more lakes closer and closer to South Dakota are becoming infested now. I think there's probably 6 lakes within 50 miles of northeast South Dakota with zebra mussels in them now. And we're trying to prevent things because, like I said in the presentation, prevention is a lot more cost effective for us.
Somebody suggested to me that maybe the rule should be changed so that you can't haul fish in a live well outside of or beyond a lake. Is that
Some states do that. North Dakota and Minnesota both prohibit water to be transported. We haven't ventured into that yet. Ours is simply we're not allowing the transport of our ANS species.
you know,
That's
are there,
definitely
I suppose there's pros and cons of that, or I mean,
There is always a balance between, not inconveniencing our anglers and protecting the resource. And right now, we seem to be doing a pretty good job. We don't have a lot of new spread. I think we had 3 lakes that got a new ANS vegetation last year, but we didn't see the spread of anything else.
is that something that you've considered along with this problem? And I suppose it might apply to other issues too that come up, whether it's transplanting fish that aren't supposed to be here or there. Or
Yeah, there's always that worry that people, and it could also be things such as bait dealers or people, dumping their bait, their minnows. It's always out there. It's something to always take into consideration. It's a delicate balance between the two.
Thanks.
Are there any other questions?
Oh, very good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you. And with that, I think we're gonna recess till tomorrow morning at 8:30, so. 8:30.